Which bag have you gone crazy over and found yourself purchasing, throwing out all of your shopping rules? Welcome to you, my name's Dale and this is Dale's Addiction. Today I'm bringing you a fun tag video created by the channel Tess Lux. I've been tagged 3 times to do this video, so I should just get around to doing it. Thanks very much to Nick Snell for tagging me, to Tiff from LV Coffee Lover, and to Erin from the Handbag Housewife. All 3 channels and their videos will be linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for thinking of me and tagging me to do this tag, the Fomo bag tag. Now, there are 5 questions to answer. I am going to contrast 2 different experiences that I have had with FOMO because, to be honest, there are way more, but these 2, I think, give you an idea of, I guess, the worst part of FOMO and the best parts of FOMO. So FOMO, for those that don't know, is fear of missing out. And the things that you do when you fear missing out on something is probably a little more irrational than how you would normally think. Some of the rules and constraints that you usually live by, shop by, go out the window when FOMO's here. So 2 examples I want to share with you today. The first one is a bag that I no longer have with me. When I show you this bag, I won't need to explain anything else. So the bag in question is none other than the Chanel 19 Spring Summer Small Classic Flap. And in the Pink Iridescent, did I say that? Are there enough adjectives to describe these bags? Anyway, the story about this bag, if you can see it there, is that I was on holiday when the collection launched. I was on a 3-week holiday, so I missed the drop dead date to register my interest. And nonetheless, when I was talking to the store at the time, I guess I just used to shop with whoever I ran into on the day. They're like, yeah, good luck. And so I had to buy it because I love pink. I adore pink. I had seen some unboxings of the bag on YouTube and from the Northern Hemisphere, which you usually get the releases before us, and Asia, and was just like, oh my god, I love that bag. It's beautiful. I've got to have it. This is a Chanel Classic Flap for me. So I paid over retail because I purchased through a personal shopper, but I didn't pay a premium from a reseller. I just bought it through a personal shopper, so had a personal shopping fee plus the international DHL shipping, so that was probably a couple of hundred too. So I probably paid about $1,200 more for that bag than the retail price, and I think that's fair. And I don't think it's fair that people complain about personal shoppers. Personal shopping is a business. It's about resources and network. It's about finding you things that you can't find yourself. And I think nothing's for free. And if you use a personal shopper, do not complain about their fee. They're doing the work. Resellers, different business, but, you know, kind of another video. So I was happy to pay for that. And I've answered the next question, which is how does what I paid compared to current retail? Well, actually, I should say, no, I haven't answered that question. So the third question is, how does what I paid at the time compare to current retail? I received that bag and I opened it with the same glee that you see me do unboxings with, and I just went, oh, I don't think this is going to work for me. I didn't like the small size. I didn't like the pink. I thought it was too, this is going to sound bad, juvenile. I just didn't like the vibes of it. I didn't think that I'd be able to style it, and I was like, oh, that's such a shame. But I knew it was a hot piece. So I thought, I'm just going to put it in the box. I'm going to think about it for a while. I'm going to take my time because this is a bag that's going to be in demand anyway. And I held on to it in the box for probably a couple of months. And I started to see those lucky people, which always happens, the Chanel VIPs selling their in-demand bags at a significantly higher price. And I thought, okay, there is still demand for this bag and it is hot. So I waited and waited until there was something that I wanted to purchase, and I reached out to a consignment store here in Australia and said, listen, this is what I want for the bag. I wanted to recover the bag price, the personal shopping price, and to get market rate for that bag, which I never do besides on this particular occasion because I was confident that it was fair. So I sold the bag. I'm just trying to think. I think I got 7,500 Australian for it, and I think the retail at the time was around 5.5 or something like that. So I made $1,000 on the original purchase price and all of my outlyings for the personal shopping experience. The next question, do I still own it? No, I don't. As you can tell, I sold it, I consigned it. And do I regret the purchase? Look, I rarely have regrets, and that's because I think everything is an opportunity to get more informed. I do regret the fact that I spent a lot of time and energy getting wrapped up in trying to source that bag. A bag that for many reasons just wasn't going to work for me. And I guess in that situation though, I don't have regrets because of the nature of the bag. I wasn't at a loss for money as a result of having gone through that process. Somebody else was, but I wasn't. So that's a time when FOMO kind of drove me a bit crazy, and not the most constructive shopping experience, you could say. Now, if I answer those questions again, but in relation to another piece which I still have in my collection, you can contrast what FOMO can do for you. So this next piece was the Chanel 20B Denim Medium Flap. To be honest, I would have also been interested in the jumbo version of this bag as well, but none of the minis. I didn't want the mini square or the mini rectangular. I wanted an actual flap bag. Now, I knew this bag was coming. I had seen it. I was following a hashtag on Instagram for 20B. I hadn't bought anything from Chanel all of the year 2020. That was the year of Fendi. And this bag was released right at the end of the year, so in November. I had been talking to my Chanel sales associate for quite a while about this bag and didn't really know anything about it coming. I was sending screenshots from Instagram, and I know a lot of people have talked about this, that your sales associate doesn't necessarily have as much insight into what's coming as you do, because I guess for them it's their job, right? But like, we are fanatical. So, we are, I'm sure that the last thing they want to do when they're not at work is look at Instagram and research their own brand. And when they are at work, they're busy on the floor helping people. So I knew this was coming. I knew that it was a perfect Chanel flat bag for me because, you know me, classics with a twist. It's just a beautiful, beautiful colour. Denim, it has these great little kind of acid wash CCs, silver hardware, which I love, a single flap. I can crossbody it. It's really comfortable to wear. I actually took it to the Chanel Manifesto in Victoria because I thought it was a cheeky little nod to Chanel. I just wanted to have it, and the time came and went for the collection drop, and I didn't get a call or a text. I actually went into the Chanel boutique with my stepdaughter-in-law, and we were shopping, and I'd told her about this, and there was a woman wearing it, and I was just, fangirling over her bag, saying, oh my God, I love your bag. You're so lucky to get it. Is it comfortable? And she gave me a full tour of the bag. I didn't even ask for it. She was really, really happy with it. And so then I was even more heartbroken that I wasn't able to get one. I had shared my sadness with Lucinda from Yellow Chic Road, and the next piece was she sent me a link from a Facebook group here in Australia that somebody was selling this bag. And I could not have joined that group more quickly and gone to that listing and hit sold. Like, I just sold and started communicating with the private seller. So I paid exactly retail for this bag, and I unboxed it, I think, in January or February of the following year, so last year. So what was that, 3 months after the bag had been released? The person that I bought it from is a really great seller that I've purchased from a couple of times. Again, it's a private Facebook group, so I don't feel comfortable giving out their details. It's an Australian Facebook group called High-End Designer Resale or something like that. Fantastic seller, sold it as a full set. Fantastic condition, perfect condition, and selling for retail. Because this bag wasn't like super hyped at the time, which is weird, right? Because now it's crazy hyped, which the next question is, how does what I paid compare to current retail? Well, the current retail on this price, well, not retail, resale, let's call it, is around double. So I paid $5,650. It was selling on a listing for $10,400 or so, the last one that I saw. And a friend of mine has actually just purchased it for a number that starts with 10. So it's this bag has gone crazy because I do believe it's one of the best denims that Chanel have ever done. Yes, I still own it. No, I don't regret it. Good things come to those that wait sometimes. I think the difference between this bag and, I'll pop it in here, that pink Chanel bag, is that with that one, I wasn't prepared for fate to take its course. I went out and I searched for it. With this one, I was disappointed that I didn't get it, but I shared, that I loved it with a lot of people who just happened to be looking around and happened to see it and happened to share it with me instead of buying it for themselves. And I came across it at a great price, all of the boxes lined up. So I guess desperation really drives us to do crazy things, and FOMO can be our worst enemy. The reason I talk about this bag in a FOMO tag is because I did have a real fear of missing out, but I was resigned to the fact that it was highly probable I would. Whereas with the pink one, I wasn't, and I did some crazy stuff, and I was lucky to get out of it without too much damage to the bank account. So, well, in fact, I did better, but yeah, I thought that they were two interesting FOMO stories. I mean, I could talk about my new Fendi baguette. I could talk about my Chanel. I could talk about my Dior wicker bag. I could talk, well, it wasn't even FOMO that made me buy this Fendi sequin baguette here because no one was talking about it. I went into the store, it had been sitting on the mannequin for like a week, and tried it on and decided to buy it. Anyway, so yeah, they're my FOMO shares for you. But this one, we were meant to be together, so she is not for sale and never likely to be, especially at Chanel's current prices. So I would like to hear from a couple of YouTubers about what FOMO made them do. And I'm thinking very carefully about who I'd like to hear from here, because I'm guessing that the whole fear of missing out thing, I'd like to hear from people who are usually very researched, very considered in their purchases. I want to know what they do when they're worried about missing out. So let's hear from... I want to hear from Jessica at the Chic Professor, very considered buyer. I want to hear from Autumn Beckman, again, a very considered buyer. And I think Irene from Fabulous Irene, also a very considered buyer. So I'm going to tag those 3 ladies in the description box below. Hopefully they see my tag and they complete this video, because I really want to know, ladies, what made you go crazy with the fear of missing out, and what did you do about it? Share all with us. I'm sure you've got some interesting stories to tell. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I usually put out videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, so I'll see you in my next one. Bye.